Disney's Star Wars movies may be incredibly divisive for fans, but with the Rise of Skywalker's release on the twin sunset horizon, it's time to explore the themes of the final Skywalker trilogy. Force Awakens and The Last Jedi center on the motif of legacy. We can see this most obviously within the First Order and Kylo Ren. The First Order is obsessed with recreating the glory of the Empire. They see themselves as an extension of a glorious past. This certainly falls in line with the First Order's fascist imagery. Fascism relies on a heightened sense of nostalgia, saying that we were great once, but our enemy made us weak. But we can return to our glory days if we do what is necessary. The First Order romanticizes the Empire, wishing to continue its legacy. Yet we know the First Order chases after an impossible dream, as we have seen that the Empire truly was a terrible place, and was also rife with the same war and conflict that the First Order faces. Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens also shows this romanticization of the past, with his reverence and emulation of the idea of Darth Vader. He even takes on the imagery of his grandfather, following in his footsteps. Yet this too we know is a false remembering, for we have spent 6 movies seeing the failures and faults of Anakin Skywalker, as well as his return to the light side. As a result, Kylo never feels he can live up to his grandfather, because the image of Vader isn't realistic to begin with. Thus, Kylo feels impotent and frustrated, causing him to lash out in anger, and even kill his own father to live up to that impossible standard. Both the First Order and Kylo Ren show us the danger of an overly nostalgic view of the past. Yet the films also show us that completely ignoring your legacy can also lead to a lack of responsibility and drive. In The Last Jedi, Luke feels complete irreverence for the past, symbolized by his tossing away his father's lightsaber. Luke Skywalker has become disillusioned with the Jedi's legacy that he used to hold in such high regard. To be fair, he has good reason to hold a grudge against the Jedi. We see in the prequel trilogy that the Jedi were cold and aloof, unable to see the dangers in front of them that led to the Empire. Like Kylo Ren, Luke held himself to an unrealistic standard of his idealistic vision of what the Jedi were. So when he failed to live up to his ideals when he tried to kill Kylo, he realized the faults within the Jedi ideology. However, this led him to completely reject his responsibility to work to keep the galaxy in balance. Perhaps if Luke had actually held himself accountable, Kylo's turn to the dark side, as well as the rise of the First Order, could have easily been avoided. Kylo Ren himself echoes this nihilism for the past in The Last Jedi, when he constantly repeats that we must kill the past. Yet this causes him to be callous and directionless. So to disregard the past is almost as dangerous as romanticizing it. Instead, the film shows that we must look at the past with a realistic eye in order for us to learn from it. We need the past in order to inspire us and push us forward. In The Force Awakens, Rey lives in a crashed Star Destroyer, a literal embodiment of the failures of the past. Yet she sells part of the destroyer in order to keep herself alive. The failures of the past also help sustain the future, just as Rey becomes inspired to fight the First Order by learning and remembering the history of the Jedi. In The Last Jedi, Yoda's Force Ghost tells Luke that we are what they grow beyond, showing that we need to learn from the past and recognize both its successes and failures in order to create a future that is able to do better. We should not kill the past, but neither should we idealize it. Instead, we must find a middle ground between dark and light in order to once again bring balance to the